Okay, we're live. Alrighty, cool. Yeah, that's good. That's good. You're okay, bud. You're okay right where you are. I was just adjusting myself, that's all. Okie doke. I think I'm good to go ahead to just start off. So, first and foremost, happy Black History Month, everybody. I know I said in one video, but I'm still going to keep saying that because, yeah, it's Black History Month. Why not? And also, we made it through the first week of February, and there is still a lot of nonsense going on, a lot of questionable things that we're going to talk about. But first and foremost, I want to start off by saying that yesterday went well with my grandmother for her 90th birthday. We had a little celebration, and y'all had 24 hours and did not wish my grandma a happy birthday. Your days on this earth are numbered. I'm just kidding. Um, but yeah, it went well for her. She was rather pleased. 90 years is a really good time to be on this earth. Well, depends on who you ask, but still. I'm glad that I have her still this far. And a lot of people can't say that, so it's a really an honor to have your grandparent this far along on your journey of life. Not to get too sentimental, I'm gonna make this brief because I know everyone's gonna get ready to watch the Bad Bunny concert and the football game that's happening at the Bad Bunny concert. So I'm gonna try and keep this as brief as possible, but still cover all the important things going on. But first, I feel like I'm just gonna make this a staple for my lives. Uh, First, let's go over the weather. Let's go over. Okay, this is gonna show Baltimore. Let's go Virginia. So as of right now in Virginia, it's still pretty on the chilly side. Um, Not a lot of wind. Yesterday was windy as hell. It was windy as hell. I tried to get some of the ice that's still left over on in the driveway, and I thought my nose was going to fall off because that's how the wind has been whipping my face. Um, and then for the rest of the week, if it'll show me, there we go. So Monday, the high is supposed to be 40 with the low 25. Tuesday is going to be warming up, so it'll be 58 as a high and 45 is the low. So that will help melt all that ice off, hopefully. Then Wednesday is going to be 61 with a low in the as 30 degrees. And I guess that's it. What's going to show me for right now. No, there was someone. What you got in your mouth? Okay, it looked like you had some in your mouth. We had someone in Baltimore. So we're going to look at their weather as well. Oh no, I'm lagging. Oh no, I'm lagging. Oh no. Brazil. Okay. So they've got a little wind going on. They've got northwest wind coming at 15 miles per hour. It's about 23 degrees. And how their weather's looking for the next few days, they're going to be warming up too, but not as much as Virginia because they're more up north. It's going to be in the mid to high 40s and the mid to low 30s in the lows. That's pretty much how it is. Like the further away you get from the equator, the more cool it gets. I think we'll start off with more of the lighter stuff going on. For example, the Grammys. The Grammys was pretty nice this year, even though I didn't watch it, but I did see who won awards and all that fun stuff and who performed. Then I'm not sharing my screen. Oh my god. So this is from the Grammy website. Um, is it going to show? Is it going to show? I guess it's just going to show like the highlights, not really who was nominated for what and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's just announcements. I want to show you guys the winners. Oh, there it is. Duh. Okay. We had DTMF by Bad Bunny, Man Child by Sabrina Carpenter, Anxiety, Dutchie, Wildflower by Billie Eilish, Abracadabra by Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar with SZA, Luther, Chaperone, The Subway, and Onomatopoeia. I saw someone to alive, sort of kind of at the Grammys, and their friend said that APT was more like onomatopoeia. I can't get that shit out my head. Anyway, so we all know the winner is Luther, and Cher had the nerve to say that Luther Vandross won the Grammy. Oh my god. Hold on. I gotta change this to live chat because I can't see if anybody's commenting or not. Not like anybody is right now. But yeah, Luther won Record of the Year. Now we go to Album of the Year. We go. Hold on. It's gonna show me how American I am. Debí tirar más fotos by Bad Bunny. Then Swag by Justin Bieber. Man's Best Friend, Sabrina Carpenter. Let God Sort 'Em Out, Clips. Mayhem, Lady Gaga. GNX, Kendrick Lamar. Mutt, Leon Thomas. Was Leon Thomas the third. And then Chromacopia by Tyler the Creator. And as we all know, Bad Bunny took that home. It should be no surprise there. Like, honestly, I did like Clips' album. I really did. Especially Birds Don't Sing. I think that was a very beautiful and very powerful song. I will say that. But if you compare this to this, granted, about 90% of his songs are in Spanish. But once you look at the lyrics, you'll see how beautiful the lyrics are. So yeah. Mayhem, I did like Mayhem too. GNX was a good album too. I did like Mutt as well. And Chromacopia. And then we're gonna go to Song of the Year. Song of the Year is Abracadabra of Lady Gaga, which has been everywhere. Anxiety by Doechii. Something that you guys will not let her live down. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, you need to release this song, She released a song. This song's trash. Fake ass bitches. Anyway. Onomatopoeia. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get my ass kicked, I know. The cake pop stands are gonna kick my ass. DTMF. Golden. What are you doing? Why are you laying on my hoodie? I don't want you chewing on it by accident. By accident on purpose. Come here. Where's that? Golden, Luther, Manchild, and Wildflower was the winner. Billie Eilish has some cool songs. I don't think I've listened to Wildflower. Well, speaking of Billie Eilish, she made that speech, to speak out against ICE, and those two blonde-haired white. I'm not gonna say what I want to say, but those white girls were mocking her, and at this point, you can just tell who people voted for, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. We'll see them in the next 20 years looking like Jaws Jigsaw, all that Botox and shit. Anyway, shit. Best new artist: Olivia Dean. Haven't heard any of her songs. Cat's Eye, The Marias, Addison Rae. Haven't heard of her songs either. Somber, Leon Thomas III, Alex Warren, and Lola Young. Um, I'll come back to that. I will come back to that. Producer of the year: Dan Arbach. Okay. Circuit, Dijon. It's like my mom's home. He didn't message me. She usually messages me. Um, Circuit, Dijon, Blake Mills, and Soundwave. I didn't pay much attention to that. Songwriter of the year: Amy Allen. She wrote Onomatopoeia. Oh. Oh. Anyway. Um, Best Pop Solo Performance: Messy by Lola Young. Best Pop Duo Group: Defying Gravity. No surprise there. Best Pop Vocal Album: Mayhem. No surprise there. Best Dance Electronic Recording: In the Summer by Tama Tame Tami Impala. Is that how I pronounce it? Best Dance Pop Recording would be in the winners Abracadabra. Oh, I did like Midnight Sun too by Zara Larson. That was nice. That I didn't pay attention to. 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 I didn't pay attention to that. Didn't pay attention to that. There we go. Best R&B performance, and the winner was "Folded" by Kehlani. Best traditional R&B performance: "Vibes Don't Lie" by Leon Thomas III. Best R&B song: "Folded." Best progressive R&B song or R&B album: "Bloom" by the Rand Bernard, which he's been grinding hard. I'm glad he won. Best R&B album, which be "Mutt" by Leon Thomas III. Best rap performance would be "Chains and Whips." Best melodic rap performance is Luther. Best rap song: "TV Off." Kendrick just be getting Grammys left and right. Best rap album: GNX. Best spoken word poetry album: who is the winner? Words for Days Volume 1, Matt Skills. Jazz. Didn't pay attention to that. I should have though. Didn't pay attention to that. No, didn't pay attention to those. Latin jazz. Didn't pay attention to that. Or that. Or that. Or that. Or that. Or that. Here's one that I low key paid attention to, mostly because of Shabuzi's speech. Amen by Shabuzi and Jelly Roll. And they did two different things for country because Beyonce won best country album of the at the time with Cowboy Carter. And the Grammys was pissed. Um, what else? Completely skipped over that. Um, I think that's all. Yeah, I truly paid. Oh, best global music performance, Bad Bunny by EOO, and then Tyler won a Push to Start for best African music performance. Um, that's Children, like Kids bopping stiff. Hold on. Best song written for visual media is Golden. I saw something about Sinners. Hold on. And Sinners is not made for children. Best score soundtrack for visual media would be Sinners. Point blank, period. It's about time Sinners got recognized for something. Uh, Don't You won Best Music Video for Anxiety. Y'all haters can suck it. And I believe that's a Best Album Cover, Chromacopia. I think that's all for right now. Let's talk about some. Whoop, I'm sorry, but talk about some stuff about the Grammys. So we see that Bad Bunny's an award-winning artist. That should be no surprise to anybody, especially for a man that did his whole tour in his home country, his home state, more or less, of Puerto Rico, because this administration is on some bullshit. Point blank period, is on some bullshit with the whole ICE raids and everything. They're just snatching up black and brown people left and right, U.S. citizen or otherwise. And spoiler alert, since Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, anybody born on Puerto Rican soil is a U.S. citizen. So that's going to make a whole lot of maggots upset. But do I care? No. What else? Now, as I mentioned before, with Doechii winning with anxiety, after so many people just hate unnecessarily, well, some of it was understandable. I wouldn't say necessary, but understandable because TikTok overplayed that song. TikTok has a tendency to overplay songs to the point of annoyance. So I'll understand that. I won't say it's justified. I'll say it's understandable. That's it. She won. And that's that. Now, when I was talking about with Shabusi, with his speech of how black immigrants built this country, last time I checked, we didn't come here voluntarily. Hold on, let me get the mic. Last time I checked, we did not come here voluntarily. We were brought here against our will. We were taken from our families. That doesn't make us an immigrant. That makes us stolen. So basically, the people who made this country, I got to adjust. I gotta get a new nose ring because this is annoying. I'm sorry, this is annoying because this thing has like two little things at in the middle to kind of keep it still, but it is annoying me. It's rubbing against my skin and it's annoying me. But anyway, this stolen land was built by stolen people. I'm gonna say it for the people in the back. This stolen land was built from the ground up by stolen people. I hope that makes sense now. And whatever Shabuzi posts next, it's gonna be null and void. Because he tried to apologize for that on an Instagram story, and that didn't work out. We saw through the bullshit. So, yeah, no. This stolen land was built by stolen people. And then back to the other stuff with the new girlies, the new light skinned girlies that won the awards. Most likely because they're light skinned or mixed race or racially ambiguous. I love how Miles World put it. She's really great. I definitely check her out. She's a really great YouTuber. Talks about colorism and texturism, and basically do more to uplift black women, specifically darker skinned black women. But she said that black erasure in R&B is pretty rampant in regards to female artists. Like male artists, they are okay with a few light skin. Well, let me rephrase that. They're a lot harsher for male black erasure than they are for women black erasure. Like Lola Young, Olivia Dean. They're lighter women. Whereas Coco Jones has range. She definitely has range. She is a phenomenal singer. But she didn't win any awards. And she's not given enough hype compared to like an Olivia Dean. Because she's a darker skinned woman. Like, it makes no sense. We need to give the dark skinned girlies more love. Point blank period. Because they're also, just like there are some talented light skinned girls, there are many talented dark skinned girls. And that's that on that. Now, we've gone to the lighter, we've gone through the lighter stuff to talk about. Now we're going to get deep into the weeds of what's going on with the Frankenstein files. Because there's a lot of discourse. So I'm not sharing my screen again, damn it. So we'll start with something I found out last night that made me barely fall asleep. Hold on, it's loading. If it'll load faster, that'd be nice. There we go. So here's something that the FBI conducted. However, with their, that's not a surprise that 4chan is involved with them, someone in the Epstein files. That's not surprising there. However, what really made my heart drop down to my anus was, hold on. It's probably going to be all the way at the bottom. That's not it. It's most likely going to be all the way at the bottom. Daniel Dixon with AT&T. I'm going to come back to that later. I'm trying to find what I really, really am trying to talk about with this. But before I do, I'm going to give a massive trigger warning. This is bad. And when I say bad, I mean bad. There's AT&T records. Don't worry, I'm going to come back to this because I know some people still have AT&T and use Apple and all that stuff. I'm sure it's going to be all the way at the bottom. I am absolutely sure. Because it's going through lots of phone records with AT&T. The billing. That's a billing thing with AT&T. Citibank. Doesn't surprise me there. Citibank always seemed pretty sketchy to me. That's somebody's tax information. I don't know who. I didn't really get a good read on it. Someone's check. Another person's check. More checks. Is this it? No, I don't think so. Zelle. Carnival Cruise. Grubhub. Netflix. I'm trying to find because there was a transaction or something like that with Life Touch. Now, for those that don't know or just forgot, Life Touch is basically the company that goes around schools and takes the school photos of kids. I know my grandma has several pictures of me and my brother when we were kids and got those pictures taken, but apparently Life Touch and another company, Shutterfly, are pretty buddy with people that are on the Epstein files. It's alleged as they're buddy with Epstein himself, and they pretty much saved whoever got the pictures, whoever bought the pictures. No, even people who didn't buy the pictures, they got the kids' birthday, names, address, and if the parents bought any pictures, they got their parents' card information, all that. And I'm trying to find where that could be. Hold on. Because it is in one of these files, I'm pretty sure. There it is. Oops. A debit card purchase with Life Touch. Life Touch NSS Online. In the cost is $106.70. So someone within Epstein's circle bought some kid's picture. God knows what. I'm not going to elaborate any further on that. I'm just going to say that they either bought our pictures as kids or they kept pictures of all these kids. And Life Touch and Shutterfly are still going around schools, mind you. They're still actively going around schools, taking all these kids' pictures to this day. And if this wasn't any more reason to not have kids, then yeah, that was one transaction. Let me see if I can find another. Can't find it. Now, someone on TikTok elaborated further on this. I don't have TikTok anymore. I deactivated my account, but I saw it on Threads, and it took me a while to try and fall back to sleep. It really did. That that that's that messed me up. And if it doesn't mess you up, you're lying to yourself. You are 100% lying to yourself. There's got to be more than just that one. I know there's got to be more. Probably in the other file. Oh. But there's that with Life Touch. Let me see the other one. And someone redacted got Zell. I wonder who. I wonder who. I'm sorry for the brief silence. I'm just trying to find it. It's most likely going to be at the bottom again. But if you're really interested in looking at that, feel free to screenshot this right here to come back to it. It's EFTA 00133349. That's one. And the other one is EFTA 00124090. That's the second one. That mentions Life Touch. And that's like I said, it's very off-putting. It's very off-putting. So I would highly advise you do this on an empty stomach. And there's another. Hold on. Unless they removed it. Nope. Here it is. So there was a. Is this the anonymous? No. This is not the anonymous. What's it called? I don't know if it's gonna show it here. Hold on. Can I be here? It might not be here. They might have taken it down. They might have taken it down. Yeah, this is just listing the songs. Um, this is listing the songs. Anyway, so there was a anonymous call made into the FBI in 2019 that someone had been assaulted by Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z. Well, actually, let me look up Harvey. Damn it. How do you spell his name? Okay, so it's WEINSPEIN. Where's the anonymous call at? I'm assuming this would be it. Oh my god. No, this is not it. This is just a email. Talking about Harvey Weinstein. Hmm. Salacious information. Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, Jess Staley, Leon Black, Glenn Dubin, Harvey Weinstein, the sex pest himself, Bill Clinton, Alan Dershowitz, David Copperfield, Les Wexner, Jean-Luc Brunel, Naomi Campbell, Chris Tucker, Larry Summers, Kevin Spacey. Is that supposed to be Diddy? Is that supposed to be Diddy? Bill Gates. Yeah, I'm trying to find. Let's go to the last. It's in the last bit. No. No. Okay. Basically, the person did an anonymous call with the FBI and she was assaulted and woke up in a room with Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z. Now, we don't know who this person is because, like I said, it's anonymous. Don't know what happened, however, but also with. Uh-oh. Hold on. Something's going on. See if that helped. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. I'll give it a minute. It's taking a little longer than a minute. It'll fix itself. Anyway. We all know Harvey Weinstein as a sex pest. But with Jay-Z, a lot of people don't know about his history. That he did things with Foxy Brown, even though she was not of legal age. That he basically groomed Beyonce. Like he was in his almost 30 by the time she turned 18. And they were talking before she turned 18. Then it should not surprise absolutely anyone. It should not surprise anyone. Because to be with the elites, to basically gain power, you gotta rub elbows with some less than savory people, some less than elbows with a lot of elites. And now he's basically in charge of the Super Bowl. That's why Kendrick Lamar got the halftime show. That's why Bad Bunny now protests and everyone dogged on him. They said that they basically ruined his career. Now that Jay-Z's in charge of the NFL, we're not kneeling anymore. So yeah, there's that. I got to get a new nose ring. This is unbearable. Anyway, there's also one more thing on the Epstein files that I really want to share with you guys before I go. Because I'm pretty sure this is going to cut off in a minute. This is EFTA 008191. Nope. 819215. It details an email 191. Nope. 8192. These three lines right here to Palmyra. I'm going to read that again. You, if it has one in the refugees as well as Lebanon. Also, my guy, Thorbjorn Jagda, Secretary General Council of Europe, will be there that weekend as well. And then Pritzker replied, Dano, Hillary. And then Epstein replied, NUSRA, ISIS, Al Qaeda, Jabhat, Hamas. The leaders all prefer Donald Wild. Egypt about to lose all financial support. These people funded terrorism. I'm going to say it again. These people funded terrorism. I'm going to read some of the most notable. ISIS, Al Qaeda. Paid off by the rich elite. All those beheading videos from ISIS, it's because the rich elite funded terrorism. Why Osama bin Laden was in hiding for so long? It's because the rich elite funded terrorism. And here's something else I gotta read off. Major takeaway was that he does not act with one voice. White House, Pentagon, State, CIA support for NUSRA attacking Kurds, but arming them, etc. Exhibit A. Exhibit A of the rich elite funding terrorism. And then I'm sure somebody in here yes, there's a tradecraft name for this administration's approach. Not gonna say that. When China begins building bases in South China Seas, we ran freedom of navigation cruises. This is a technical process that describes which of the ship's systems are on and which systems are off. O ordered it done. Pentagon sends over details, and Susan Rice views systems on and off not as a protocol, but as a menu of options. She overrules Pentagon and orders which system she wants on and off. In effect, White House diluted challenge for the freedom of navigation crews were designed. He had a foreign policy strategy that was articulated by Cairo. It was a failed strategy, and he failed to change when its failure was clear. Would you like to hear what Ehud thought when he first heard Cairo? Good example was complete withdrawal from Iraq, military, diplomatic, economic, followed by passive support from Maliki, who then slaughtered Sunnis and made ISIS a rational alternative. I'm going to keep saying this until I am blue in the face. The rich elite funded terrorism. The rich elite funded and is most likely continuing to fund terrorism. It's no surprise that our tax dollars go to Israel for them attacking Palestine. So this should be no surprise here that the rich elite are funding terrorism. It really shouldn't. It genuinely should not be a surprise to anybody that the rich elite's money and or our tax dollars are going to fund either terrorism or genocide. It should be of zero surprise. And I feel like the whole thing of this administration breadcrumbing the Epstein files is that they want us to either be overwhelmed to do anything or they want us to be numb to everything. And it's kind of going back to the Grammys. Sure, those little ice out speeches were cute and all, but at the same time, y'all have more money than the working class American. You can do something. You have the power, the ability to talk to these rich elites and say, "Hey, this is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this," or to do something about it. Because you have more money than us. You have more power than us. But at the same time, it won't happen because celebrities do not want to lose their status. They care more about their status, their money, than the working class American, their own fans. They care that they have their wealth because of their fans. So what do we have the fans have to do? Until they do something, we're not going to any concerts, we're not buying any merch, we're not streaming their music. Point blank, period. They have the power to do something. They're able to go talk to these people. We have to apply more pressure. We got to keep our foot on their necks and our money in our pockets at this point. Because if we don't, nothing's going to change. The people have the power. And with that, I'm going to end the stream.